Sorry about that, Bateman. I know you were watching. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, I don't know why it just, went out like that, but it did. I'll have to keep an eye on it a little bit more, I guess. Okay, well. So, we found the file, which is awesome. This is just the most up-to-date file with layers of fixes and changes and updates and all those goodies. So, that puts us back in action, which is good. Alright. I'm calling this map Jurassic Park 2, which is just the working file name, but it's really weird because obviously it's about Jurassic Park 1, but yeah, so I can't really call it Jurassic Park 2. It make no sense. Can I call it the command center or the visitor center? Because that's what this was, or just Jurassic Park. Though I already have a map called Jurassic Park that I made for this game. Or maybe I just call it Jurassic Park Revised, but it's a completely different map, so, I don't know. I might need a box here. It just feels too exposed when you land up here. Although you do have this, but... Curious what changed. Oh, I see! Look at that! That's funny, because the issue that we were looking at with the other version was like, well, it just feels like this is a dead end. It didn't feel very fluid. But now you can go through these, which is really nice. So, it's just, well, however, maybe I get rid of that, you know, just to simplify it. Realism is cool, but like, if it takes away from the gameplay, you have to somehow smooth that out, you know? So maybe just keyframing that and hitting no player collide so nobody gets affected by it. Definitely need to make this look more like a vent and get the textures correct. Ooh, lift it up, make it a little taller too so you can't do that. Oh yeah, I rounded this spot a little, which I think is nice. I added this little platform. Oh, we have this. Oh, uneven space. That sucks. I was thinking about putting like railing here, like those like red velvet rope ones with the little gold sphere on the top, just to really signify that you can't go back here, and maybe like put like under construction or something. Also, this original temp was like, I didn't know what I wanted exactly, but I wanted some sort of rocky cave that you walk in for the theater, maybe have it say theater at a bone or something, and then like a skeleton in the bone, but very quickly threw this together, and I just chopped parts out off of this big old dinosaur and I slapped him on here, it's been here ever since. Like, I have not updated it, so eventually I need to get around to doing that, and I think I might actually extend it and have it so it's like a cave you enter, you know, or maybe move these out a little, extend the cave out a little bit so it's more of a cave entrance, and so when you go in here, you're sort of in the cave as well, but it's closed off. Somehow have it closed off. Maybe I could even round this off or something, I don't know. You know, it doesn't have to be those red curtains either. It could be another smaller room with an entrance doors or something. I don't know, but I like the idea of this just fighting around this column. I don't know, just feels very nice. It feels like a spot, like a point of interest that you may want to hold, because you have this nice shot down that looks down this whole bank or this flank to the main room here, and people spawn over here, people run in here. We'll probably be running in here from the jump pad or even through here. So somebody sitting over here would have this nice little, maybe there's a weapon gun that spawns here too, but and then you could escape back through the back door. You could go all the way down to the bottom. Say if somebody was holding those stairs well, you could even try to come up behind them, or vice versa. Say you're coming up here and somebody's like holding that spot really well. You're like, well, okay, I'll get you. Though I do want to update this pathway as well. But you could try to surprise him, you know, like. Get my point. Man, the railgun would be dead in this match. So I'll probably have the railgun hard to get. Or hard to hold. I did have one of these spinning. I had all three spinning, but the frame rate was like dropping like crazy for some reason. So I might have the most obvious one spinning when you come in here, maybe the center one. Yeah, that one looks like might be the one you see first. I don't know. Cleaned this up a little. Yeah, there's the railgun. Okay, so you can get up on top of this. Oh, you can drop behind. I gotta fix that. I want to see you can sit on this, and maybe you can hide through the bushes, or you know, you can try to hide in the bush. Give more people options. Different ways to play Red Faction. Ooh, these you can go right through, so I gotta update those. Yeah, like this. Ooh! I'm gonna put some lunch boxes, what else? Maybe more dinosaurs. These are imported. But that's from the wrong movie. That's from like some other movie. Ooh, look at this weird little... Gotta fix that. A weird cut through there too that you can see just in this Red Faction lighting, so might have to redo those shirts too. There's always something. I thought having the nuke there would be fun because it's the most exposed spot in the map, I think, or one of, because you stand here, like every angle can get you, just about, you know, like there's what, 6 doors on the bottom floor, then you have the whole top floor. Anybody who's up basically from any spot, you know, if I was here, I'd see that guy. If I was running through here, I might see that spot. So it's easy to see. I mean, it catches your eye easy to. So I figured the nuke here would be cool because also if somebody's dominating up there, it's sort of a challenge to like get out in the open, grab this thing, and then try to get rid of them. And then that's their opportunity to try to hide behind one of these. You know, if they're shooting and then somebody grabs that nuke, you know, they have a quick second to hide. But also these boxes are good for... I figured this is like a King of the Hill thing, where it's like this area people would probably try to hold. You know, if you're really trying to sweat, you know, you could hold this, try to hold this top area. The only ways are up are that stairwell and then that jump pad and the elevator in the kitchen. But this is specifically, I gotta fix that door. So you can come up behind somebody. Because, like, if somebody was holding it really well and just stopping everybody from getting up, then you have an opportunity to come up behind. And then I figured, you know, we'd have pictures of Red Faction or something. Because these are supposed to be projectors. In the room, they're, like, sitting here discussing everything in the movie. I think I said in the room. And then they had, like, pictures changing on the projector wall behind them. So maybe I'll do some sort of VBN. And then a bright face for each one of those changing. And that way this room is sort of... It's a strange area to fight in. And the pictures are always changing, so it might throw you off a little. And then come up behind him. I don't know, it could be a little wild one-on-one action. Unsure about this guy. Weird palm trees wouldn't make sense, but those kind of work. I don't know. Yeah, I can obsess over these little details forever. And this map will come out in like 10 years. But really I want to see how, you know, how it plays. And it's all about the play, so... Just want to make sure everything... Anywhere you go, there's like a direct... You know, there's somewhere to go. The main area. Oh good, this spot is fixed too. All those little problems that were in the other map are fixed here. Ooh, I gotta put a bottom on this. I'm kind of here. There's supposed to be a raptor noise. But if it's too loud, you can hear it throughout the whole map. And then when you have to be like right next to it to hear it, so it doesn't really make sense. I wanted to be so like you walk in this room like, oh, there it was. But it's still kind of low. So I gotta work on that. Bottom on this Jeep too. There's a little nuke. Don't shoot that. Ooh. Portal issues. Okay. So I figured this area would have like a graph of like the mechanics or I don't know, like machine information about the ride. This whole thing's supposed to rotate. It doesn't in the map. It would be cool. And ooh, what is that? Originally I did think about having this rotate. And I built it so it could. So like you know, it would rotate from this room and then just like in the movie, like you'd be sitting up here. And then the whole thing would rotate from room to room. And then you'd start here. This is where you had like the dino DNA. He did the whole little video. Hello, John. Hello, John. Hello, John. And I thought about having a little VBN play something. And then it rotates to this. Although the layout isn't correct because I had to change it up for gameplay. And that means sacrificing the original design, which is fine because it's even the original design when you watch the movie, like because I'm trying to build this dang thing, when I see where they're going it makes no sense. Like for instance, like to get on this ride, they go upstairs, but if you look at the outside of the map, or of the community visiting center or whatever, it's like a cone top, so it's like the second level's not very big. There's not a lot going on up there. But somehow this whole lab, or you know, this whole computer room, this whole lab, it's all upstairs. So it's all above that museum that you see and so like architecturally made no sense. And then even when you're looking, you see ooh, I gotta fix that too. You see stairs going up, so implying there's like another level. And it's just like, what? Like, how tall is this? But then from the outside, so, you know, it's a movie, obviously. They're just they do what works, and you don't even notice it when you watch it. But I mean, this is just like the real design. So when they go upstairs, when you look at, let's see if I can pull up the center. Jurassic Park. There you go. Right, so this is, you go in the doors and then you go upstairs, and I guess maybe they're saying this and this is it. But then where's the ride, you know? Where's the whole ride? All that stuff that you see in the movie where they go and they check out the eggs and all that, somehow that's all upstairs. Which doesn't make any sense, like, especially for, like, transporting this stuff and, you know, all the science equipment. I don't know. It just seemed weird. So I thought, like, well, for a map, how would it actually make sense so everybody can interact and it wouldn't be one-sided, everything would be balanced. Well, I had to basically switch it around. So in this one, you know, you start off with the Dino DNA screen, and then it goes to this, which originally it should go to this, and then it goes to that room. So I switched those rooms. I put this little storage room in between it. I had to create that. And then I also put this whole, like, just where I think I'm, I put that whole, like, Jeep area, which is, feels like a, let's go check it out. I figured, like, you know, they work on the Jeeps, but they can also, like, transport animals in and out from here too, especially since they have a lab right here where they have live animals being born. Like, I did think about putting, like, smaller cages and sort of have this, like, smaller incubator area for all, like, the baby animals, and I may still do that. And then, but then they'd still need to transfer them in and out, so I have, like, these 3 bay doors. And then I figure this one, maybe they're working on it because also when the animals get sick or when whatever. Also, you could argue that the ride, this lab is just like in the movie, it's just for visual, just for the ride purposes, but they have all these scientists and they have actual creatures being born in there. It just makes my brain confused. So let's see. Usually a video. Yeah. We'll check this out, okay? Okay. Let's look at this. So, they go inside, and right away you can see how different it is. Right. It's right here. But there's similarities. You might not even have noticed. I don't know. Maybe you did. But so they kind of walk it like well, you know, obviously there's this the construction going on over here. There's some boxes. There's 2 skeletons in this. I simplified it to 1 dinosaur. They also had platforms going up to another room above here, which I thought was cool, but ended up not doing, because I'd have to build that exterior of this place somehow, because you'd be able to see it out these windows when you're up here. I could build it so somehow you don't, but there's always a way, you know, like people jump around and somehow see it, whatever. But also it's like, do I really want another level, another room up there? My only thought was like a secret passage, like you can get up there and then maybe there's a I don't know. But I mean I do obviously like the idea of having some sort of secret like that, but you know, it's hard to balance it in the map. So here's some other shots that I use as reference. This has 2 doors. I simplified to 1. There's 2 doors here. I think I simplified to 1. I didn't want a million freaking doors. You can see everything. They're still building things, but then there's other areas that are like well polished, which I find very interesting. For instance, like there's a guy like sweeping with the rug or with the like a dust sweeper, but then upstairs, like, there you go. But then upstairs, like, they haven't even started on this stuff. They're like laying the foundation of the framework. It's like, man, this place is gonna get dirty still. They're still painting it and doing this like the 3D work on the plaster work, and yes, I found that funny. Just like this, we spared no expense, which is his whole motto. I got way into the philosophy of this movie, which I didn't mean to, but after watching it and then sort of like just while I'm developing, I'm thinking about it, I realized, like, you know, his spare no expense is obviously a big part of what destroyed and caused the problem in the first place. But at the same time, there's this weird dichotomy of like unfinished versus like polished. And I tried to add that to my map, where you obviously have these areas all up above which are being worked on, but you also have this like unfinished, polished area. Like they have like fancy artwork right next to an area still being worked on. I just thought, I mean, that's not in the movie, but it's a representation of sort of like of his whole just him in a nutshell, and I just really like that idea there. So I added that as like a reference, but nobody's gonna get it other than the 2 people who watch this stream. Yeah, see some similarities there, you know. This is pretty cool. So we've got some nice shots like this, reference shots here that I'm going to use to build out that room. Here's another nice reference shot of the kitchen. I mean, not the kitchen, the dining area. You can see outside really nicely. You see all the palms and stuff like that, and I want to be able to do something like that. But that's a lot of wasted optimization. Just for this outside area you can't even get to, like tables. And so I figured, if you look close, there's like raindrops. And I figured, make it, well, that doesn't fit this because it's sunny out here. See? So somehow I have to figure out what to do there. So maybe I make it rainy and foggy. I didn't even think of that. So yeah. So there's that. Maybe have it at nighttime like this is. There's plenty of reference for the kitchen. Here's that room upstairs that I was talking about with the projectors and the different things on the projector. Maybe I can try to find similar shots. Here is the... Okay, yeah. So they go up... In the movie, you saw the shot I just showed in the clip before this clip, that they go upstairs. They have dinner in that room. So I put the room up here with the projector. But then from somewhere around here, they get into that ride. Okay? So from one of these little spots. Or they went back downstairs and they just didn't show it. But it literally just goes from them. They walk upstairs, you know, and then they walk into this ride. And you can see, you know, he's got this big room where there's like a movie screen. And then it rotates to this lab. And then it keeps going from the lab, past the lab, to the computer room. So that's what I switched, which is what I was pointing out there. I can get to it pretty quickly here. So here's the ride, and then they go from that, and then they pass the lab, and then it crosses, and then there's a doorway, you know, and then it's sort of like this doorway here, but for layout's sake, I switched it up, and then I removed a doorway here because that way, when you go in here, there is another little room you can access, and uses this space better than just having yet another door. And you can go through here to access. I thought that was kind of neat. I switched that a little, but so apparently they have this giant room. All these computers, and then they have the whole lab room. all of this upstairs. And then you see stairs going up again to somewhere else. But just by the look of it, it looks like it's in a basement. It looks like they're underground. The way the pipes are laid out, and even this room, it looks underground. And I feel like, maybe, oh, wait, there's a nice shot of that room. Look how small that lab is, though. All the dino work apparently goes on in this little room here. But, yeah, so I try to make sense of the design a little bit more. Like, all right, the scientists would be working in this close vicinity of somewhere that they can, like, you know, maybe I'll change this up and put like an incubator area where they can like have other, or maybe this area too, because I can just have this area as a storage area, and then this area is sort of like this incubation spot for like baby dinosaurs, and then that way they can, you know, because I have some here, there's like some, you know, representing different eggs and stuff, and or you know, but yeah, so then they could do that, and then they could deliver them to, you know, maybe another facility or whatever, and they don't have to go through upstairs, or they don't even have to deal with the museum. You know, they should be below the museum. But herein lies the problem. If this is below the visitor center, then how do people get to the theater? You know? And so I had this layout where originally this path was closed off, and this was another door. I just had another door here, and then so it was like people, this was the path to get into the theater. In the movie, they just like, they walk out from a door on the side here, you know, they don't show how they get there, or really the entrance. So that's why I sort of built, like, it should be in the public, it shouldn't be downstairs, it shouldn't be upstairs. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would, no, there's no way they would have it so you have to go upstairs to go to that ride, in my head. So I thought, okay, well, if you're here and they had these like different visitor areas, I don't know what to do with this area. That's why it's still like, looks like it's under construction. But then it's like, this is the kitchen, or I mean the dining area. You got the kitchen, obviously. This all makes sense. You have the little, whatever this is called, the little kiosk to buy some stuff, Jenny to fill out, and then you have the theater, right? Like right next to it. So it's all sort of like, all right, dinner and a movie idea, and it's all sort of like upstairs, all the entrances. But then I have it vaguely explaining where you go. My thought was like, somehow you go downstairs. You got to go downstairs a little, or I don't, you know. But so there's the entrance, but then somehow they end up in here. So originally I had like this as an entrance, and then so there's like a staff door here you can get into, and then a staff door here you can go out. And I was like, that sucks. This should be one whole area. Just for the games, for the maps play, gameplay, I had to remove all that. And then I originally had another side entrance into that room. I moved it here instead. Just left that one door. And then you know, there's an entrance here too. And I just put staff only, so, and then I thought about just putting another door there to give people the illusion, well, that's how you get there, and then just not explaining it, you know? Just sort of hiding it. And I may still do that. I was trying to make sense of it logically, but I don't think I necessarily have to. It's a map after all, you know? It needs to play first, you know, so, but at the same time I did want to have things make sense. So I had this whole empty space too, so that's why I built this in the first place. Like, and there's actually another whole empty space behind this area that was a room originally, and I was gonna have a projector in there, and there's a door here, And it was just more empty space, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do with this spot. So I did nothing. I just got rid of it. In fact, there might be remnants of it. There is, yeah. Because it's all built into the whole thing, so there's literally a secret room that you cannot access. Yeah. With the wall closing it off. You know, it feels like a door needs to be here. Feels like a door should be there too, but that's why all these areas are just very early development stage. As far as like, I just haven't had an idea really hit me yet as far as what to do with these spots. So that's why they're sort of as simple as they are. But it flows into main rooms, and that's why I didn't mind it as much. I figured maybe a door here that could connect to this section here, maybe. Like have another little room so you can go out there. But at the same time, I don't want too many extra rooms, too much stuff going on. It needs to all flow together so you're always running into people, even though it feels pretty big.
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Game over.
So there's the Jurassic Park layout as far as our flow, what we're working with, where we're at. Not too shabby. So. A couple things I noticed, like, I built this texture and I like it a lot. I want, like, just a square version that ooh, I need to fix it. All those can be done towards the end, you know. In this area. I figured doing that in this area would be nice too. Too much white, you know? White walls and white ceiling? Nah. Also, I might put a little border at the bottom. I don't know. Weird textures, weird lighting, shadows. Not sold on this room. No, I keep saying that little kitten is sitting. Yeah. Got a little allergy reactions. Got scared, so she's sleeping behind me in my chair. I'm uncomfortably sitting on the edge, but nice, and she feels safe, so I'm happy. Okay. Yeah, like that texture, but just with one. Maybe I can just... Let's see. I'm gonna find that texture. What's that again? Okay. And rebuild it. We have 1,000 brushes here. So it's... There we go. Romec JP CT1. Ceiling texture 1. RMK. Filter. Curious. I just want to see what other. Okay. We've got a lot. Good. So only one ceiling texture. That's the one we want. Looks nice. Okay. This is Illustrator. Very powerful tool. Look like the same color. Slight shadow on it, just like the other one. Sand. Offset. Almost. Oh. You know what? Just to guarantee we get this correct, I'm gonna cover up the existing one with a new texture. Change the color. We can sort of see where we're at. Low 7. Okay. We've already built out that drop shadow as well, so it saves us that information. Now I have a single block version. I already have a square that I can use as a flipping mask. Done. Cool. Put everything in the clipping mask. Shadows. Oops, I say what I do. There we go. I'm gonna save this as JPCT2.
कभी कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है।
think we'll be right back. In the meantime, I'll be practicing my zero-gravity acrobatics in space.
Okay, I'm back. You know what's so silly is YouTube, like, I fill out all the live stream stuff and then it changes it on me. It said I was using Unreal Engine. I was like, what? The heck? No. So I had to change that back to. Anywho. We shall try in inter. Map took some like thinking when working out the design. But just like my capture the flag map that I'm currently in the like early prototype stages, the map is a mess. Geometry. Yeah. The layout of the geometry is a mess. However, that's sort of what I do when I first build a map, and then I clean it up and I simplify it. And I sort of rebuild it how I think it should be built. Because I think it's easy to get in the habit of starting with a project, starting to build with geometry, not loving the geometry, but then continuing to work off of it. And I finally just got to the point that I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do block out. Like, even though this BSP editor is basically just block out anyways. I mean, modern engines basically use this type of level design as just block out. But I was like, I'm gonna block it out and then just rebuild that same geometry, but like efficiently. And since it's all built, I can sort of reverse engineer how to efficiently develop it. And there's still segments in here that are like chunks of my old block out that need to be developed, but for the most part, most geometry is in a good spot. A lot of rotating, a lot of angles. This whole design, let me see if I can find my folder that has all of my inspiration for this map. And but I have blueprints. You hear? Blueprints from the original development. And sketches. There we go. Hey, so, here's like... This is sort of part of the development. These were taken from the blueprints. So, yeah, I could build it exactly, but I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be as fun. But see, they have like outdoor area bathrooms, it looks like. I didn't put any of that in. And you can see each level. Anyways. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. Here you go. Here's like, these were the blueprints of the visitor center. Ooh. Circles. Lots of circles. The whole thing, you know, it's just like developed off of a full circle and then designing rooms off of these angles, which is difficult. You know, that's pretty difficult. Here you go. Little shot I had of the lab. Old storage, again, based off of a circle. So are the steps. So like the main pieces were all sort of inspired by circles, basically. Even here's like the main, see where they sort of started here. It's in paint. Okay, good. One thing edge is good for. But so here's actually the ride. You can see this, the chairs here. This would be where they're visually looking out. This is the computer room. The control room, which is also a little different from the actual set that they built. And then here is the lab, which is more similar. I built the lab pretty similar to how it's actually designed. I didn't follow this curve exactly. I have a harsher angle since it's lower poly. I did add this room. I added these steps here. Those are a little different, although our version rotates up here, doesn't keep going up this, wherever this leads to. And we also have an area, we have these doors and it leads out. But we simplified this area too to allow for like more feng shui movement, so a nicer flow for the gameplay. I don't need all this like computer stuff in the way. Also, here's a smaller version. So you're like, we're looking at this section, A section. Here's what the blueprint is, just covering that section. But so you can also see it was all developed off these giant circular waves. Even the logo is like a circle, which is interesting. The steps are all circles, you know, half partial circles. Kind of cool, you know. But even how the ride rotates off this axis, pretty neat. But look how huge this area. You need a huge area for that, and upstairs just doesn't make sense. They go upstairs, like, I'm like, what? I don't know. That's so funny to me. So so here's that lab, you know, and can't really see it from above, so we can look low. It's all mirrored now, so circles, 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 giant circles. So I just kept that theme. Obviously, my version, the axis rotation for the theater is like the very center of it, rather than way back here how the developers wrote it, which doesn't make sense in an architectural design. But so those are the changes I had to make. So, you know, also it's just weird because like you have to think about like, well, okay, this is gonna add extra room. What do I do with these extra rooms, you know? And how do I come up with more spaces that they didn't build in Jurassic Park and fit that like architecture? And so for me, I was like, I wanted my creativity for like coming up with like Jurassic Park level rooms is you know, I don't think many people can really come up with this beautiful style of art so easily. That's why they had professionals do it, you know, and there's millions of dollars behind the design. But so I just tried to build out the structure, and then from there imagine like, well, what makes the most sense. And it was cool because I had this empty space and I was like, man, this looks like a Jeep area, like, or this looks like a vehicle spot, or like, you know, an area that people would be coming in and out with vehicles. And originally I thought of opening this up more and having like, you know, you could see a little pathway go up, and maybe there's some palm trees, and you can kind of look out and be like, you see into the jungle, and you're like, whoa, like it really just goes out into Jurassic Park out there. But again, that's all optimization, baby. So those are very last possible elements. You know, I need to be able to build everything else, and then if I could still do that, cool. So that's why I don't even bother with that yet. But yeah, so I thought, okay, well, what would we do with this room? Geometry-wise, it had some very distinct lines that really helped with defining for itself. I just like changed colors with those things. I'm like, look at that. That is totally like a room for a couple Jeeps, maybe. And then I was like, well, I'll put that Velociraptor cage in here. Like they're, you know, like they're working on it. And then that way the scientists can go back and forth to from room to room. It all made sense. And then you have a big storage area back here. And then I had yet another room, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is too daunting." You know, and so I was just like, a bunch of boxes, boxes, and then a projector for this video. I was like, "Really? That's..." And I built it out, and I had doors that accessed it, but I'm like, but then when you stand here, you have like, it's uncomfortable. I do not like maps where you're just constantly getting shot in the back. That's like the most unfun thing. In certain maps, for some reason, people think like, oh, it's fun to always have somebody running up right behind you, shooting you in the back. So I try to avoid maps that can lend themselves to that. And part of that would have like a 3-way entrance or exit. And so somewhere people could sit in here, or watch or whatever. Like it just, or this is like really a 4-way. It's so uncomfortable having a spot where you can go 4 ways. And so, but with this, even it's like this is a heavier area. This is more attention, more stuff can go on that way. That way, this area is much more direct. You can check there. You can check your angles a little bit easier than just running out. You always check your angles here. I mean, you can always still have people running up behind you, right? You can't escape that, but you can minimize it by at least allowing the way your angles go. You know, like you always have like sort of a way to get away, hide, put your back against something, protect yourself. Always, like and then the areas where there are, this one is a 4-way, but it's optional. You can jump through this glass if you don't want to go through that. You can take this ramp and go up there. There was another room back here where this door opened, or this area opened, and went backwards. There's a door. It was like a generator room, and there's like another long hallway all the way up to here. And I'm like, man, what the hell am I going to do with all that? So I just got rid of that too. But there's always a way around that area too. So even with this room, I thought like, well, if you're coming up here, well, now you have to worry about behind you at all times. Like there's always going to be somebody getting you. And I'm like, I want to, you know, so that minimizes that too. And when you're running up here, you can check if somebody's about to run up behind you. You have this little window. You can also use the window to jump through to like go quickly. If you're running down here, you just jump through this window and then get through the door. You know, also I thought it looked like it would kind of belong in a place like this. It probably wouldn't have the glass there. I don't know what it would have. Probably nothing. It would just be an architectural design choice, but I thought it works well too in gameplay because it's a quick way. You don't have to go through the whole, you know, I mean, you're not saving a lot of time, but it is just a fun little whatever. When you're up here, you also have corners as well. So you always have like a place to put your back if you're, especially when you're looking out there. I don't want people spawning right behind you, so, but I do want any good advantage spot to have a disadvantage. So upstairs, like if you were holding this spot down, you do have a disadvantage right behind you. Somebody can come up this elevator and get you. But also if somebody was dumb, I really like this little area. And I thought like, you know, it's a nice little spot to hold down and then you can go in here and try to escape. But also people could come up behind you, but you'll hear the door. So it depends on how you play. And you'll hear the other doors open. Da-dum, da-dum. You know, and you're like, oh, somebody's in the back hallway. Back hallways are working. Man, I wanted to delve into redesigning this room today, but I no ideas for this. This area has plagued me because I could just have it where just goes from these rooms. But there needs to be another way down and up. Aside from this spot and this spot. Because otherwise there's only 2 ways to get up and down into these, between these 2 very large areas. That doesn't work. So I added these vents so you can, from the top, you can quickly drop down. So there's 2 of those. There's that one, and then there's this one in this room. You can drop down into this room. So there's a drop down into each of these big rooms from upstairs. There's no way to go up, though, other than the 2 main entrances. That's why I thought, well, let's add like another entrance up. And then I thought maybe another one over here. And perhaps I maybe will have that opportunity if I turn this into like the incubator baby dinosaur area, because this space, this empty space, could be turned into that. Pathway could go up and actually interact with this room, like maybe here or here. Because it could use 1 door, I think, if needed, you know, if need be. I don't, you know, and this, maybe this goes down into the incubation room, and then that can like spill into this room, or there's an exit here. So yeah, you could use this path. There's also another flank path to get up, but it does funnel all out into one room there. Maybe that's a problem. That is one bottleneck that I see could be a problem. Is that there's only this path up, and then all the way across the map there's this path up to this top area. So there's like 3 main areas, you know. Another way. Oh. We got the elevator that takes us to the 3rd floor. We don't have an elevator that goes down. Good, but then it would be way out here. Somehow do and see about that. We could extend this, make a room out of it, have another path up there, and then connect to. Let's see, it's tough. It's tough to figure out where I could fit stuff. Like, for instance, just having one entrance into the kitchen, I just thought, like, that also, I mean, obviously, there's another exit, but there was this empty space over here in this corner, and I was like, I don't know what to do there either. This isn't in the, it might be actually, this is in the movie. There are 2 kitchen entrances in the movie, so. But there's also another one out here, I think. Maybe I could do 2. I don't know. But I don't want too many convoluted paths. I really want it to feel like there's a lot going on, but as you just follow the path, like, you get everywhere you need to go. It's a big circle, for one. So all the rooms connect, but they just keep going. And then as you go in those circles, you'll find paths going down that lead to more circles. Another big circle with circle designs within those circles, and then, you know, you can go up this path to where the theater is, and then you enter into the main room. It keeps, you know, this is absolutely a pub map. This is for like game night events where there's just a crap load of people, you know, and I also am gonna make an arena version where it's just this top room, and it does not have areas down. It will have the kitchen, it will have this area. You won't be able to go down there, and yeah, I will just have all up here, basically the top 2 floors, and that'll be it for smaller groups. But And you know, just so you know, I originally was just gonna do that. I was just gonna build these top 2 areas and then not build those bottom, you know, like the more known, well-known areas from the movies. I wasn't gonna build those because I realized, well, the whole design has to change. I have to create rooms and I have to come up with like thematic areas that match all that. I have to make it make sense and be fun gameplay wise and sort of be immersive, all those things. I was like, oh my gosh, it was daunting. I was like, just the top 2 floors is fine. And I was like, yeah, people will just fight for this area because obviously I built the original and it was rushed, but you know, that whole thing, I was like, well, I can just, that main center room was really the whole point of the map. And so that is why this is a little bit more dynamic in this room, because there's more reasons to hang out in this room. And then if I did arena it, I could add another little platform up to this area, because I would be able to build out I'd have the resources to build out the top, like a roof, some sort of bamboo looking roof or something. And then yeah, I don't know if it needs it, but yeah, so there's options here. But the whole bottom area is really just because, just for those like crazy game nights where there's a lot. And so that way there's just a lot of places, there's a lot of rooms to fight. So there could be 2, 3 people fighting in this room. You go in here and there's a dude in here, you fight a dude in there, you go in here, there's a guy or 2 people. You just keep going and there's just people, you know, that way it's just every area is an arena, every area is like a spot to fight. Every area makes sense, you know, as far as like big battle area, arena area vibes. There's always a pathway around you. There's like doors, rooms to like get away, to get health and get ammo, try to get better angles. You know, I just want to really maximize this map. So that's where we're at. With projects like these too, I need to analyze it like this too, because especially when I put it down for a while and I come back to it, like I need to get back in the headspace of where I was, and I really need to understand like sort of the philosophy behind what is going on here. And the ultimate goal can be simple. You know, you can have a simple ultimate goal, but there's so many steps to get there that you need to sort of like remind yourself of certain things. And so this is good. This is getting my brain working. It's like all this empty space can absolutely be used in a beneficial way. Like you could absolutely add another path here to another area to get up there. So it's just more ways to split up to funnel the people around, to sort of blend everybody into each other and drop them into areas. So there's no stagnant areas. Albeit, I like an area where you can go in and maybe there's not much stuff going on and it's a little quieter from the action. Sometimes that's fun for me. But just get it like, whoo, okay, and then you can get back into it. But it sucks when you design when certain maps are designed really well, but all the fight is around the spawn points, and the spawn points are badly placed, and therefore like the map isn't quite utilized. You're sort of creating a forced battle between spawn points that can really kill maps in their tracks, unfortunately. So spawn points are very important. I want to have a lot of spawn points in this, a lot of dynamic placing, so you can always find a new spot. But also the secret, not quote unquote secret spots, but the places that are supposed to be a little bit more elusive, there won't be spawn points there. Maybe there will be close, but there could be a little, like this little room here. It feels like oh, whoa, there's like this little, maybe it would be a little health pack or something. No spawn point in there. I want it to feel like a little secluded area. Maybe there's one out here, though. Very close. Okay. So, in summary, the ideas for the next, update to spend some time working on would be changing this room, turning it into a hatch, like in baby dinosaur area. So I'm gonna try to conceptualize what that could look like, and doing that, I'm going to have to change some of this to make it a little less like grease ball shop. So maybe just this side is the side that they work on the vehicle. I can move this, you know, I can move this under there. We'll get rid of this other Jeep, and we have like another, maybe it splits down here, and that way this whole area can be dedicated to more of like taking care of the baby animals. And it'd be right here. So it would be, we could have it punch into the wall too, so we can utilize some of that space. And from there, we could somehow have it connect up here. The steps going up and then around. So you can even come down that way. And that splits up that group as well, because originally I had another path here, and it didn't really funnel people any differently than this path. It was just like another one of those paths just out here. But this way, having it splitting off to the right obviously is more advantageous. And then coming down here, especially if I extend this room, I don't have to have this long pathway down this weird. I could literally have a door, come out, angle down, steps down to like a secondary platform in this room, and then you should have another little ramp down to the main area or something. So it's like a 2-level room, and incubating animals. So we could kind of go off this concept here from the movie, that like little incubation room. Like maybe they're closed, they're bigger ones. Maybe there's like little cages. And I can create little sleeping baby dinosaurs or something in Blender. We could put 1 or 2 of them in there and have it like snoring or something. That could be cute. And I'm going to remove this as well, and again dedicate, remove this hazardous waste, dedicate it all to the baby animal, the baby dinosaurs. And I might move some of these. Maybe keep 1 or 2, and the barrels and all that I'm going to move and sort of dedicate in this room a little bit more. Decorate this room a little bit more as that like grungy storage area, where all like the where do we store this stuff goes. And maybe we'll have some of that here too, or this could be a little spot with the ammo and or armor and just for defense. I don't know. We'll feel that out. Maybe clean out some of this stuff too to allow you to get around it a little easier. But I figured a spawn point over here could be good. Yeah. Maybe the door up there stays. That idea is good, but again, it's like what I don't like is like having this spot where it's like, should I go left or right? I want it to be a little bit more, less like 50-50 and more leading you one way or the other. It's just like bad feng shui or whatever, energy flow. So maybe the door is here, If I do that, I gotta move this stuff again. So, again, it's like that domino effect. Although, having an extra area up there is gonna be good. Check those yellow barrels. See that you didn't double them up. I might have did. No. Maybe they're upside down? Wow. Layered textures. Wow. Yeah, super weird. Maybe I can put barrels on top of each other, or I just get rid of them, maybe? Portals. Nasty, man. Sure. Okay. Really doesn't need them. Let's see if this fixes that real issue. Oof. That though. Forgot what this character's name is, but we should put out a little simulator where you're just stuck here. I gotta those. Better. Texture. Some. I need to. I like this little thing, but lighting, something's not too far back, maybe. Oh, it's... Light's too weird. In this mode. Huh. Lies. Textured. All neat stuff. Different stuff. Light, perhaps? 7? I think it's just to make it. Like one of those like fire. Give her that. Where am I? There. Even structurally, it could make sense. There could be some pipes back here. There happen to be a little space. Oh. It's the one thing this could use is give it like a just a border at the bottom. Okay. Brush. Yeah, border. Might get tricky. Oh. Easy fix. One. Easy fix. Oh, never mind. Okay. Main file's good. Oh. What else could it have been? Texture. Take this texture and then we just build in a little border. Well, I won't do that right now, but that's something I can do. Speaking of off stream, it's 10. We'll call it there. 10:08. So, I mean, not a lot of development, or I mean, plenty of development, but not a lot of new building has been done. Other than this, let's see this. Just something I needed to get done for a while. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna build this out. Any little build outs that I can just sort of knock out, that I know what I want and I can just jump into it, I might as well. Other than that, I really wanted to feel this map out again, get back into it, remind myself of like what I'm doing here, where I'm at with everything, and just get a good sense of it all, and really re-familiarize myself, really. So I did that, and so now I have some projects to work on, and one is right here, this dino baby infrastructure thing, and I'm gonna sort of change about half of this area, half of this room, I should say, into a new sort of thing, and clean that up a bit, and that way it can allow for an extra walkway upstairs. Yeah, I can clean up a couple other little things in there. Yeah, and then we have to finish out this elevator area. There's a bunch of little smaller things to do, but as far as like finalization, like, or as far as like early development, like, the elevator's in absolutely the earliest stage, as is, I mean, I spent a short amount of time building this room out, but this is also very early. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it will change much other than what it is now. I might pull the projector all the way down, so it's sort of like a little arena room, and you have these panels you can shoot through. And you fight over the super armor, I guess. But and then you have the elevator back here too, which is very just secretive compared to everything else in this map. But it's a one-way elevator right now, at least in my head, which is like you get in from the kitchen, you go upstairs, but you can't use it to go back down. The idea was it's just to counter this attack. It's to be able to get up here and counter this person, but you can't come up here and then go down the elevator. It also didn't seem like, why would you? Why wouldn't you just jump down? I don't know, maybe you should go both ways. That's something I need to test out. So we'll have some beta versions of this for play, but first I really want to get every little segment that I can worked out, and not be lazy on anything. If there's something where I'm like, I don't know yet, and I keep skipping over, like, just don't release the map until I figure out what I want to do with that room in that area. That's sort of where I'm at with it. So I'll shelve it for as long as I need to, as long as I can get what I need out of it, which is just, you know, making a solid map through and through. So every area is thought out, and there's nothing too lazy or out of place, you know, or broken or whatever. Yep, there's the Jurassic Park map, and here's all my keyframes or my switch keys, switch models, all my keys, all my separate switch models, and this is how we get our models into the editor. And I like them sort of in this nice daisy chain right in the center, so I can basically, I mean, I rarely go up to it like this. Usually my system is I find it off to the side here, and I have them all there, and then I go to the item that I'm working on. I'm like, okay, what is this connected to? And then I can go, okay, it's number 1. Boom, and then you know, I can update it or whatever. I don't know. So it's also an easy way to see how many of each item you have. It's cool. Alrighty. So yeah, that's Jurassic Park. Till next time. Roll Mech! Signing out.